What's going on, my friends? It's been a while since I have posted. I tell you, I'm just having a little fun with some percussion. I'm actually doing a genre of music I don't really do. I'm not a hip hop composer. Some may cringe when they hear what I'm doing, or they may go, "Hey, that sounds pretty good." That depends on who you are. I don't claim to be a hip hop composer, and I'm not. So, but anyway, I've had some pretty cool fun with some samples and different things I'm doing. Uh, Samples that I've recorded, and one I've used before. I've used this before in my tension stuff, but you can use it in anything you want. That's the cool thing about this. And I've been using a lot, and I'll talk further about it. I've been using Arcade a little bit, and man, I'll tell you what, the things that you can do with that and chops, when you chop up different sections of samples or loops and can kind of make your own with it. Put your own key to it and everything. Sorry, I can't talk. I need a little more of this today. Um, yeah, and I'm being real careful because you have to be real careful. Something like Arcade and some of these things that, you know, if you're using it, a million other people are, but that doesn't mean you're not making it your own. You just have to. You can't just hit the button and use everything that they're doing, because I guarantee you, if you were to Shazam it, or to check it, someone else is doing it too. So I encourage you, no matter what you're doing with samples or loops, Shazam it or check it and make sure no one else is using the same thing. You got to be real careful. The percussion is not really a problem. I've said this several times before, but I think that I'm just trying to get more and more into recording my own samples and stuff. I think it's so cool what you can do. So I'm going to play something I did here, a section, and see if you can pick up on what this is. I'm probably going to tell you anyway, but it's cool as hell. You can hear that. That's pretty cool. Now I'm going to play it. About now you may have figured out what it is. Let's see here. Perk 3. Here we go. Now you. That, my friends, is that Coke can sample again. When I recorded that can of Coke Zero, who says you can't get rhythmic with a can of Coke, man? Yes, you can. Here it is. Just kind of add some reverb, change the decay and the pitch a little bit. I pitched it down a little bit kind of for the sake of the track, which I think was cool. A little bit deeper. I think that's real cool. Very cool. So, like I say, I'm doing some hip hop tracks for one of my publishers for some TV shows that he may take them, he may not. I don't know. I'm not a hip hop composer. They're going to have a home regardless. That's the good thing about it. And I'm going to talk further more about. I want to get on and talk about my plans here this year is with this whole pandemic thing, man. I think I'm changing gears a little bit. I've got a couple of main publishers I write a lot for, and some that send briefs out that I shoot for, but I think I'm going to just start really just compiling albums and shooting them out to different publishers. And a lot of people that are new to this business, the biggest question is, how do I send to publishers? What do I send? How do I do this? I think the biggest success right now is packaging these things into albums. We're talking 10, 15. I go 15 tracks because I think 15 just seems to be a good fat number, and it's a good ideal amount of music to give these guys options to where, who knows, they may pull the whole album or the tracks they want it, but it's there, and it gives these publishers value. They love it when you can do a whole album of 15 tracks, and when you email them, we've talked a lot about how you approach these publishers, but when you send them the WAV or the MP3 files of the album, just tell them, hey, I'd be glad to package this thing however you want. And when I say package this, and a lot of you already know what I'm talking about, is whatever alt mixes you need, or whether you need the stems, or just anything that you require, what file type that you require and such. How do you want it? How do you want it sent to you? These publishers will tell you. I mean, they're not going to tell you because it's their protocol, and every publisher is different. They have their own protocol. That's why it's important to do your research with each it's important to do your research with each publisher and listen to the music in their catalog for a little bit. Because when you approach them and you start talking to them about, hey, I love this album, I do this kind of music, do you get a lot of placements with it? I'd love to send you some of that. Or they like the fact that you are doing the research on their webpage and that you take interest in it. You're not trying to like charm them. You're not wasting their time. You're doing your research, and if you're doing the same type of music, they want to know that you have that intent to do so. So, in other words, I've got my eye on a few publishers here. I'm going to send some music to here in the next month or so that I've sat on their sites and I've listened to their music. And one in particular, one publisher I sat and listened to music on was a publisher that I know of. I just haven't submitted music to. That he had one of his albums I happened to catch was like a minimal rock album, and I was like, that's interesting. I started listening to it. It was just drums and bass guitar. In other words, doing bass riffs and stuff, and that's all it was. I'm like, dude, I could do that all day long. So I intend to, when I get a chance, it's on my notes here, to email him and say, listen, I'm going to send you some other type of music, but I noticed you have another album of minimal rock, and do you get a lot of placements for that? If so, I could do a lot of that. I'd love to do it for you. So, stuff like that is going to get you to the next step in this business. A lot of your research is what's key here. So I didn't mean to get off tangent on that, but we'll talk further more on that later. But I wanted to kind of show some of the things I'm doing with some samples here and some of the fun that I'm having with it. A lot of cool things I'm doing here with this track and several others is I'm using, like I mentioned a minute ago, arcade. I'm trying to just branch out and be as creative as possible. And it's hard because as you got a million different options out there with music. It gets hard if you just can't stop and think and be creative. It gets harder and harder to be creative because there's so much sampling being done. You're worried about things repeating and copying someone else what they've done. It's amazing. If you think you are the only one who's done it, someone else out there may have done it already. So really, someone may have already done this, and that's why it's important to check it. Shazam it, folks. I'm telling you, it's important to do. But anyway, I'll play some of the stuff I did for arcade here. Some of the stuff that I done I think was kind of cool. Just chopped up sections of vocals and stuff and various synth parts. Arcade on this one. That synth part was arcade. And that percussion was arcade. That's obviously played that part. So it's very cool the things that you can do here with different plugins, and a lot of people say this arcade is a new Splice. I don't know about that, but they do update this stuff every day on arcade. It's so freaking cool, man. You just have to be very careful about what you're doing when you use this stuff, man. You really do. And even when you check it, it's hard to determine if someone's going to go behind you and do something in the same vein. It is true that you can't reinvent the wheel, but everybody creates their own twist to it and makes it their own. So it's almost impossible to truly copy it, but accidents do happen. So you just have to be careful. You have to have good intentions, and if you can prove it, no one's going to shoot you for it. But you just cannot blatantly take somebody's loop or vocal or or progression. These top lines, you can't take them and just use them. We've already figured out and seen where that's gotten people in the music industry, and with recent news and such. So just be very careful with that. But anyway, I wanted to get on here and kind of show you what I'm doing with percussion creatively. I think it's cool as hell. There's so many things out there you can record and sample, and it's amazing how you can create your own percussion, what you can do with it. You can listen to percussion and have no clue if you're creative with it, where it even came from. It's amazing. Sky's the limit. It's just amazingly cool. So anyway, I haven't posted in a while. I want to get on and post more and talk about things musically. It's something I love doing when I get the time to do it. Like I said, I've been deep in a couple of different music projects and trying to work on a lot of material here. So just remember, folks, it's a volume business, and you got to work to do it. Take some work. That one song is not going to do it. You got to work, and you got to create a lot of music to do something in the film and TV business, especially with instrumental music. You really have to do it. You always have to be writing no matter what. Anyway, I'm out, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.